Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, how are you doing? I'm your host as always, Domstan100 aka the Exploder, aka Dom. And yes, this is week 3's entry to my Games Design 2B progress thread. I've got my notebook, I've got information that you want to know, so let's get on with it. First things first, started off the meeting by basically showing off our new asset list for our music and sound effects asset list that basically covers what our new sound effects guy has to get or put together. Things such as things from footsteps to walking on water to throwing fireballs and the fireballs going erupt and all that jazz, to other stuff such as being hit, reactions such as sort of thing. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. So it's stuff like that, but so that he has something to do to get started on with, which is badass and awesome. We then overlooked the asset list and the jobs that were given out last week, and in that we pretty much covered what had and hadn't been done. We've covered a lot more this week, and a few more bits and bobs from the asset list have been given out to other members of the group, which is badass. So then we started chatting to all the individual people to find out what they had managed to complete this week. So we started off with John, who has successfully imported the custom character into UDK and made him work. Yay! So that's badass and awesome. That's a milestone. That's one big milestone completed. I'm probably going to have a look at importing the rest of the characters now, such as we've already got, let me see, we've got Braggle and Kazra modelled already, so I think those two characters will be the next two characters to import into UDK, which would be awesome. But more news on how that goes when obviously we get to it. We had a discussion about HUDs, basically talking about are we going to go forward with our original idea for the HUD. One of us is going to try and put the HUD together, because apparently we have to do the HUD in Flash and then import it over to UDK. So the images that we have are basically of Ossible's health, where you have Ossible's portrait in the corner, and he goes from an epic smiley face to a face, depending on how low on health he is. So hopefully we could go forward with that idea. Maybe even also put a health draining bar around, because it's like a circular formation to like not cover a major part of the screen or anything. So hopefully we can get that piece together. We're having a look into it now, so that's badass. Then it came to me about the textures and whatnot, and I was suggested to, and my mission now is to try and get a hold of a copy of Adobe Illustrator, that apparently has a function in it to make vector color palettes that basically makes really cartoony looking textures and stuff like that, and also helps you make your very own cartoony stuff. So if I can manage to get a copy of that and start playing around by next week's entry, I should have some examples to show you, hopefully. Don't keep your fingers crossed, but I will try my best for what I can obviously get a hold of, so hope for the best. We then went to and thought to ourselves about the whole cell shading thing that we brought up last week, and Ollie's going to have a look into that for us, so cheers Ollie, you're a good man. We're cutting down on the animatic. Now this was a big part of the meeting, because our animatic fully is just over 4 minutes long, and 4 minutes of 3D rendered animatic is going to be incredibly long just to render, yet alone put together. So we've decided to cut down on our original animatic. Sad face, but it has to be done, sadly. It just makes it easier on us, it makes it easier to get the game out, and it makes it easier to obviously get it done for the sake of our cause in the end of the day, so that's badass. So we So this is what we actually decided to do about the animatic. The first 26 seconds of the animatic, which is basically showing the cave and the giant monster that they're about to kill and everything, cut that out. From 38 seconds in to 1 minute and 11 seconds in, cut that, which is basically the bit where it's like Dagoff's little "where have you been" sort of thing. We've decided to cut that out, and instead of make it so that they find the chest, Dagoff comes in saying, "I found some loot!" And in the loot is the Hand of Belial, which is the whole demonic item that causes this whole thing in the first place, so that's badass. We're not going to have a Belial flashback, which is basically the clip of Kazra saying and thinking about, oh no, if you use this hand, evil's going to bring all the world down. We're not going to have that flashback, but we're just going to change it a little bit to make it so that you're still going to understand what's going on, but we're just changing it around to make it shorter and easier, put it that way. We're cutting down on the Devil Jowl bit. Now this is when Jowl gets a hold of the Hand of Belial and starts turning all demonic and turning people into demons and killing off Kazra. We're cutting that down slightly, just because Jowl's getting a considerable amount of screen time in that section, and as well as that, it's a huge chunk, and we could easily snip it down into a reasonably sized chunk. So we're going to be working with that. And as well as that, we are also cutting down the length of the summoning scenes and Kazra's death scene. The reason behind this is because in the original scene, it's like a wad of quite a big chunk of Kazra taking her time, making the pentagram symbol or making the summoning symbol on the ground, and then obviously Ossibor being summoned and Kazra dying, with obviously Kazra going "Ah!" and all that stuff. So I'm going to cut down on that one, make it more to the point, make it more informative, and just basically introduce you to Ossibor and shove you straight into UDK where you can have some badass gaming fun. Awesome. And so we're thinking about roughly having the final animatic about 3 minutes and 10 seconds in length, which is a very good cut down. We pretty much cut down an entire minute off of this animatic, which is great. So if hopefully we can do this right, we could be looking at a 3-minute intro scene, which is badass. We don't want to end up like Metal Gear Solid 4 with hour-long cutscenes, completely 3D rendered. Oh god damn, I still don't know to this day how the hell we do it, but hopefully we're not going to go that far, so cross your fingers for that. I'll let you know how that goes later on, because for now we're still modelling and getting all the bits together. So when it comes to the animation side of things, I'll pretty much inform you. So good things. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, we've also been given the job of blocking out the animatic area. Now the animatic area takes place in area A of level 1. So we're basically blocking out this area, but not in UDK. We're blocking it out in 3ds Max, and we're doing the entire animation in 3ds Max, and then the whole gameplay obviously in UDK so that people can play it. So if you do want to have a look about what area A level 1 is like, go to area A level 1 in the wiki if you have access to the wiki. If you don't have access to the wiki, I am very sorry, but sadly you won't be able to go there. But basically, I'll give you a basic gist of what the level layout is about. That layout is basically, it's a big antechamber. You've got a pedestal there and everything where the Hand of Belial is sitting. You've basically got Kazra's corpse on the side where she's been shot at by Devil Jowl and all this jazz. So it's pretty much an antechamber that's been getting wrecked and covered in all these blights, black tumours and tendrils and stuff like that. So it's hopefully going to be quite demonic cartoony, put it that way, when it's done. So I'll let you know how that goes with the blocking out and obviously the final creation of it when we get to it. Let's have a look. Then we were discussing about levers, because obviously we have a couple of levers in our level, and Dave's going to get on that, making a couple of versions of stone levers. The main way we're going to be able to make different types of levers in this case is mainly when it comes to textures, because with textures you'll be able to add moss or add lava cracks or add really good detail when the actual lever itself. So Dave's going to do about, I think it was 2 or 3 different versions, just so we can get an idea of which version we want. I'm going to go with one version, and then when it comes to texturing we'll make a multiple different versions of textures, so that when we have the 2 that we like, we can shove those forward. Brilliant. We will also, when Nia came in to obviously take the stuff, informed us about a Kickstarter style video. So I'm gonna, because I did all the video stuff last time, and I reckon I'm gonna be doing all the video stuff again this time, which I love doing anyway. I'm gonna do some research over this week about Kickstarter videos, how professional companies have done Kickstarter videos to promote their game, to get people interested and stuff like that, so we can take inspiration off of it and obviously use it to our advantage when it comes to releasing our one to you guys. So hopefully you guys will be able to feel as if this is an actual game that you can buy and play, which hopefully, fingers crossed, we might actually work on this to create a full-on game. We don't know yet, but it could happen, so cross your fingers. Here we go, let me see. We're also thinking for the animatic, potentially switching it over, so that instead of having full 3D movement with lip syncing, we're just going to have like still, like 3D stills that go from one 3D still to the next, explaining how the story goes, and then having dialogue as well as it goes. And then if it requires movement, like such as like BAM for like shooting the laser, I was like shooting something out of his hand or something like that, or such as ZA for cutting something or someone, or just like walking away, we'll do slight motions for that to try and to make it unique and not just make it stills all the time. So it's an interesting idea. We checked with Neo, it's perfectly fine. So we're going to go forward with that idea, and hopefully it will come up absolutely fantastic. I'm psyched for it, let's put it that way. Let me see. And then we were giving out jobs. People that were not given jobs this week were basically told to carry on with what they were doing last week and refine what they were doing and get it out. So the people this week that have been given jobs, I've already said Dave and Ollie have been given jobs earlier on, but some more people have been given some jobs. We have blocking and wooden pikes given to Dan. So have fun with that, Dan. Wooden pikes, sorry, for all. Love it. Wall tendrils are being put together. Ooh, lovely. Looking forward to wall tendrils. Puddles and tumors are going to be looked at by Steve. And Steve, remember, we want some frigging good puddles. Frigging good puddles. So that's going to be cool to see. We're gonna have some more of the assets done here and there by Danielle once she sorted out her bridges, which is really badass and awesome. And then she's going to help me out with textures, and we're going to work together to get textures done and think of different ideas of how we can texture certain things and what they can look like and stuff like that, which is badass as hell. Then we have yeah, that's pretty much it, because the last thing I have here is me and Danielle testing different textures on different things. By testing, we're literally meaning taking like one of the models we have at the moment that's been unwrapped and just messing about with it to make sure that we can get the cartoony look right, to make sure we can get that all right and looking badass. So that's all good of a hood. That's everything I have in my notebook. Notebook will be thrown away, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of that. So that is my week 3 entry to my Games Design 2B progress thread. I hope you've been informed, and I hope you've enjoyed it as always. If you do want to keep in touch with how this is going, as well as keep in touch with my other game related videos, all you have to do is subscribe in the area below. And heck, if you actually liked this, give it a like as well and help your brother out, because I know everything's good in the hood at the end of the day. So on that note, I will leave you and let you carry out your day. It's a really beautiful day today, and I'm going to be recording stuff for my interactive narrative. So until next time, guys, Goodbye fellow progressors, goodbye, and I'll be seeing you guys at next week's meeting. Booyah!